I am back. So, yeah, I was about to say, the worst part is that earnestly and honestly, like, if it was like a 5 second drop, I wouldn't give a shit. But it's the fact that it's like a solid 30 seconds where there's no internet at all, which is Scuff City. And I think it is the router because the boy is like, it's happening across the entire apartment. So I'm just putting this on the record too. And Bobby, if you're watching, you can like type in chat or message me. It doesn't matter. But the internet just went down for a good 30 seconds or so. And the boy just reported to me how the router is still white when it was very evident we did not have internet. Babe, I think we're going to call the stream. I'm going to put my pants back on. We're going to go get another router. Because for that burp to have been that bad, the router should not have still been reading, oh yeah, we have internet. So let's do this. I'll make this commitment to everyone. Yeah, Ebon, it's that part. It's the part where I have to put pants back on. Hold on, I have to put pants on and I have to put on a decent head wrap. It's actual racism. It's not even the first week of Black History Month and you're making me do actual work, and that's what's disgusting. Absolutely foul. Absolutely foul. Hope Comcast covers that new hardware. I expect nothing of value from Comcast. Nothing of value. But yeah, I think it's time to make a trip. Jinx, I'm actually about to, like, let's say it's an extended break, yeah? I think I'm gonna go grab a router, come back, we're gonna do some fighting on the interwebs, and here's the deal. If we put in a new router and it happens, then it's a no contest thing. It's a no contest thing. Because at that point we can go back to Comcast, and that's part of the reason why I want to get a router. Because then if we go to Comcast, we're like, hey, check this out. We have a new modem, we have a new router, we have new wires, we have all that stuff. It is literally not us. It's you. It's you. Science will defeat Comcast. Exactly. And it's not my first rodeo of getting on the phone with someone like Comcast and being like, I'll curse you out in front of your mama and everybody and I won't care. And you'll have proof that it's Comcast. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So just for final things, and I'm going to delete this second part of the VOD because it's not going to be worthwhile. Notice that Gehrman is not here. If this is your first time seeing Bloodborne, Gehrman is not here. That is because Gehrman has relocated. And the end of this run is actually not when you kill what nurse, but when you go out of this now open gate and you talk to Gehrman.
Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end.
Thank you so much, Ebon. That's true. If someone could be so kind to go back to the VOD and get clips of the W's, that would be great. I'd also like a clip of the damage from falling. That would be appreciated. I'd like to see the damage from falling.
From this terrible hunter's dream.
So the end of the 80% run is when you submit your life. If you do not submit your life, you get to keep playing the game. Kind of. Ish. But it's the end of the 80%, so
farewell,
we submit.
Hunter.
Thank you so much, Kermit. Thank you so much, Kermit. And I'll go ahead and we'll end with a cutscene. Just a heads up, there is going to be beheading here. And I'm just looking at something else. Oh, the moon background, that was beautiful. Something I do think is very interesting, though, I love how it's when Gehrman beheads you that you wake up and not when you die in the game any other time. And for the record, if I woke up in like the middle of the cathedral I just knew was populated with a bunch of stuff and was just left to walk away by myself, I would be mortified. It's Comcast? Wait, what do you mean it's Comcast? Confirmed? Wait, we have new intel? We're gonna keep the stream live? We're gonna report live from the wine cellar? How did we confirm that it's Comcast? Oh, does that mean I get to make a phone call? Is it outage map? I bet you it's been like that for a couple of days.
Hunter, may you find your worth in the waking world.
We're aware that you may be experiencing issues with your Xfinity services and are working to resolve them as soon as possible. We apologize for any inconvenience and appreciate your patience. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a moment to talk about why communication is important, right? We're gonna take a moment to talk about why communication is important, okay? I should not, Bob, first and foremost, everyone, can we get some hype in chat for the boyfriend? Not just for making me a delightful cup of tea, but also for finding the intel of why Comcast continues to be a mark bitch. Some hype in chat for the boy. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, my boyfriend.
So this is why information and communication is critical. Here's my beef. When it comes to issues happening, I should not, as the person who's impacted by the issue, have to do what feels like 90,000 miles of research to figure it out on my own and then tell you there's an issue. If there's an issue and you find out, it should be your responsibility to alert the people impacted instead of having us approach you pissed off just for you to be like, oh yeah, we know, we're working on it. If you know, then say that. This way, I'm not sitting here wondering, because this has been what, 3 days of this nonsense? This has been 3 days of this nonsense, and they've not said a word to us. So there's a chance that that outage map has looked like that for the last 72 hours, and we had no idea. Or was it, what is it, babe, 4 days? Yeah, it's too fucking long. Let's put it there. Okay, 3 days, that's what I thought. It's been 3 days of this shit happening, and so we've went and got a new modem. Y'all just saw I was about to go get a new router. We have new cables and shit coming. When y'all realized it in day one, you should have sent an email or a text flat out being like, hey, we understand that there's some outages going on in your area. We're aware, we're working on it, we will keep you posted. Because at that point, 3 days ago, I could have told y'all that, and I could have just been like, hey, streams might be on pause until further notice so that y'all don't waste y'all time coming out here, right? I doubt that. That would imply that Comcast knows what's going on with their own connection and can find their own ass even with both hands and a map and a flashlight. You're not wrong, Fulmir. And that's the other part, Mocha, because this is your reminder I work from home as well. I work from home. So when my work day gets an unannounced 20, 30 minute, not 30 minute, unannounced 20, 30 second break. And keep in mind, I have to run meetings and stuff too. So what happens when I can't make my meetings? What happens when I drop in the middle of a meeting? What am I supposed to do? Fucking use my phone hotspot? The hell am I paying you for then? Oh no, we've got a book. Please don't be what I think it is. That was a work update that makes me feel good, actually. And good news, I got Pixel Chat working. Congratulations. Love that for you, Mocha. Welcome to the world of more accessible streaming. Also, easier captioning when your friendos get on. But yes, I was saying that before. They owe us money. Yeah, I work from home. So when my meetings and stuff drop, keep in mind that at my job, I literally just signed off on a $200,000 contract. Imagine being in the middle of those negotiations and I couldn't keep a stable internet connection. By the way, now that they've acknowledged an issue, if you still have issues after they say it's resolved, you can get someone to actually come out and check shit. If you tell their service rep, I'm still having issues after that outage. Oh. Hey, babe, if you're still watching, can you get that screen cap? You know how I feel about receipts. Can you get that screen cap that we're in an outage? Even better if it's like this massive fucking red spot that just looks like a fucking pimple on Denver's ass. That would be the best part. It has to look like a pimple on Denver's ass, specifically. Well, I'll play a little bit more until the next outage, I suppose. I want to get some practice in. Another fun fact about Bloodborne. Bloodborne, I think, is the only FromSoft game that when you get an ending, you are not prompted. You just go straight into New Game Plus. Like, it just...
Good. All signed and sealed.
You quite literally wake up from one nightmare and go straight into the next one. Imagine that Murgo is Comcast. She probably is. I still stand firm on the idea that the reason that I've been having problems with my internet is because there's someone at Comcast who low-key watches my shit. Low-key watches my shit. And is just like, I spent 12 hours on that boss and she beat them no hit. And then plug her internet. I'm convinced that that's what's happening. I'm convinced that that's what's happening. Fuck that guy. The stress of working from home, anytime I have problems with the internet while I'm editing a manuscript, stresses me out so bad. Yeah, there was one meeting I had with that same vendor that I dropped like right at the end of the call. I got super lucky all week. Had this been happening like 3 weeks ago, this would have put me up shit creek. This would have put me up shit creek. And some of the things that I wanted to do for Black History Month would have been 86 outright. Like straight up.
Oh, yeah.
Awful Soulsborne guy works at Comcast in Denver. Probably in like the main HQ. Sitting there with like a whole 20 monitors full of all their favorite streams, and they found this one. They're just like, I'm gonna fuck with her internet just because it makes me angry. And keep in mind too, I still have UBAF coming up and whatnot.
Good.
Caldown, and it's the way that it's on Black History Month. It's the way that it's during Black History Month. Actual racism. Ugly energy. Ugly work. I had a time where after 2 weeks of working on a main script, as I was uploading, there was an outage. That gives me anxiety. That gives me actual anxiety, I'm not gonna lie. Deleted the manuscript. Did you have it saved on your desktop at least? Please tell me you had it saved on your desktop. I did notice the coincidental timing of the outages, believe me. Racism. Actual racism being had. It's giving anti-blackness. No, you know what? I got the theory. I have the theory. Because this actually happened to me once upon a time in my 20s. Here's my theory. They just hired or promoted someone to a higher exec position who's black. And the guy who didn't get the position is now taking it out on every black person he can. And the guy who didn't get the position, 100% white. 100% white. Y'all swinging too much for me. My paranoia of having multiple backups of manuscripts saved my ass. Yeah. I like having stuff saved on my laptop and on our SharePoint, specifically for that purpose. Because the second that the SharePoint goes down, I'm like, nope, 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 it's on my desktop. I don't have to worry about it. Nope, I'm going to keep working, and ain't nobody finna come after me sideways about this. It's a no. It is a no. Nah. Nah. And hey, Blackheart. No, that's the wrong button. Oh, hey, you're in your right position now. Punk. Very glad my boss is very understanding and didn't give me grief for turning it in a day late. Yeah, like, this goes back to the part I was talking about with communication is critical. Not only is communication good, but then making sure that there's avenues for communication is good. And being in an environment where you can just tell people stuff and they're like, hey, you know what? I get it, is a huge, huge boon. That's a huge boon. Oh, goodness gracious me. Because, yeah, like, when you work somewhere where you feel like you're not allowed to express issues, it just makes your life that much harder. And it makes working that much harder. Because then you don't really want to, like... Oh, shit. Okay, I caught it. Because you don't really want to, like, tell people when stuff is going south. When you feel like you're going to be a burden on things. Oh, guns. Exactly that. It's such a huge advantage to making a work environment feel healthy. Yeah, like when something went down with my Black History Month activation that made me really angry, I actually was given a space to vent and bitch about it and then explain why it made me angry. And like, no, we didn't do anything like wild and outrageous to be like, oh, fire that person or, oh, push back or anything like that. But it's still something that is like, no, we're going to make sure that this doesn't happen again in the future. That's fine. All of what you're talking about is valid. And I don't think that there's enough companies and even corporations that put value behind the idea that just telling people what's going on or just giving them the space to explain why they're bothered is really what a lot of us are asking for. I don't expect an overnight solution. I don't expect someone to be like, oh, we have a direct answer for your problem right now. I just want to feel like, hey, this thing pissed me off. This is why it pissed me off. And this is what I think would make it better. And then be met with, you know what? I feel that. I feel that. Okay. Now, granted, you also have to see tangible changes towards those actions. And I can safely say for the stuff that I'm working on right now, I do see tangible actions towards those things. But yeah, it's like, I don't do well with the whole let's not tell anybody stuff. If they find out, then we'll tell them. No, no. Or we'll wait till they'll bring us problems. More racism. My regular A&W has been sold out of onion rings for like a month. That is so specific, but also wildly turbo racist. What? What do you mean? What do you mean you're just out of onion rings? Brosif, can you go get more? Okay. So going off the communication tangent, let's talk about quick crisis management. When it comes to food chains, one of my favorite food managers of all time, when we ran out of, what were we at? We were at Spaghetti's. We were working at a place called Spaghetti's. And we wildly ran out of noodles, okay? We ran out of fucking spaghetti noodles. I need y'all to wrap your brain around how asinine that sounds. That I just said we were out of spaghetti noodles at Spaghetti's. Okay? We ran out of fucking noodles. My favorite boss... Damn, she was right. My favorite boss was like, so are we going to just all panic about this, or what are we doing? Sounds stressful for the workers. Yeah, because I don't want to be a waitress walking up to my table being like, what can I get for you? Oh yeah, I like the rigatoni al forno. Yeah, so actually we're out of rigatoni. What? Okay, can I get the spaghettis and house-made meat sauce? Ooh, yeah. What if I told you we're out of spaghetti? Like, that's not the life I want. And then my tips are affected by that. Parappa the Rapper would have been pissed. So, my favorite manager in this situation was just like, so let me get this straight. We ran out of noodles, and we're actually telling tables that we have no nudes when we have a fucking Walmart right behind us. That's what we're doing? I'ma be right back. And man's got in his pickup truck and ran right to that Walmart. He had to drop maybe $100 on just noodles, which for the record, if you're not accustomed to buying groceries, just know that that is an absurd amount of noodles. Actually, too many noodles. Cause like a box barely can cost you like $1. $100 worth of noodles. He bought so many noodles. And was just like, keep this going. Let me know when you're at the halfway point and I'll just go get more based on that. And everyone was like, did you just go get noodles? And he was like, yeah. I did. And everyone, the cooks are just like, bet. And they immediately start cooking noodles. And the other manager was like, so is that something we can do? And he was like, I don't care if it's something you can do. We're a fucking pasta restaurant. Like, what do you mean you want permission for this? Our entire thing is selling noodles. Hot nudes in your area, preferably at your table. Like, what do you mean? So yeah, he was cool. And then the GM wound up leaving to go do some bullshit with his kids with a baseball league, and the Spaghettis has been better off ever since. So, you know. Rolling up to the line with a cart of noodles. Just a full cart of just every noodle possible. Walking to the Panera. We don't have no bread. What? Actually, I have a story for that. Let me try this fight out first, though.
What's that smell? The sweet blood. Oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man sick.
Casual no-hit gassy. So yeah, story time about why the Panera ran out of something. So, fun fact, as someone who used to work at a Panera, there was this day that this lady came in and she bought out all of our bagels. All of our bagels, okay? I'm talking like, I don't know who she was feeding, but I hope that they had a great time that day. Because she walked in wearing her velour tracksuit. She had like one of those ugly side ponytails and a big fucking bitch blocker glasses. And she was on her phone half her time. She got like the dangly shit on her phone and whatnot. And she comes in and she just literally is like popping her gum and dead ass in front of God, and everybody is like, yeah, I need like 12 bagel packs. And I remember me and the other cashier just looked at each other like, 12? And she was like, yeah. You know the big bagel boxes? And we're like, oh no. Yeah, those are the bagel packs. And she's like, yeah, I need like 12 of those. And we just again looked at each other and was like, can you hold that thought? And so we go back to the GM and we're like, hey, there's a lady up front who said she needs to order 12 bagel boxes. And he literally like turned around in his chair and was like, what do you mean by that? And we were like, yeah, that's what we said. Because for those of you who don't know, Panera bakes all of their fresh baked goods based on a par from not just the previous year's sales, but also like the dates of expiration, the order that they have in stock, and then more importantly, how things have been selling over time for like the last couple of months. So this was like on maybe like a Wednesday or something, which is a very low par day for most Paneras. Like middle of the week for a lot of fast food places in general is not very busy. It's not very busy. Also, I'm being so rude. Thank you so much for the GGs. That was probably one of my better gassies, but also I hope someone clipped that absolutely no thoughts, only violence parry that was just fucking chef's kiss. Beautiful work by me, if I must say so myself. So, like, middle of the week for a lot of these, they have low pars. So when I say low pars, I'm talking like on the weekends, Panera expects to go through like a smooth 200 to 300 bagels. On a regular weekday, it is a struggle to go through probably 100. So this woman just came in on a weekday when it was a low par day with a weekend level order. And we were just like, and so we had enough bagels to fulfill it, But that left us with bare bones as a result. So she came in at like 8 o'clock in the morning and wipes out all of our bagels. And the boss is just like, I can try to bake some more, but it's gonna be like another 2.5 hours because we gotta proof them and shit. Y'all, I have never been more scared of a lunch rush in my life because I didn't know how to explain to people that I didn't have any more cinnamon crunch bagels. What do you say to that? Right? It's not like when we ran out of noodles and it's like none of us had anything to do with that and none of us were there to be like, oh yeah, we sold them all and didn't say anything. She legitimately came in and wiped out all of our bagels before the lunch rush. Eustace, it's stuff like that. Can I get a bagel sandwich? Ooh. Yeah, that was a hard day at work. That was a hard day at work. Fulmer, that's the point that I got to, where people were like, yeah, can we get 2 cinnamon crunch bagels? And I'm like, listen, I know what I'm about to say is gonna sound so asinine, but a lady came in this morning and literally bought all of our bagels. And like some people, of course, got angry. Some people got angry because they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Why didn't you XYZ, ABC? And I'm like, bro, I'm just a crew trainer. I have no control. I didn't do anything with this. I can't tell her no. I literally can't be like, no, ma'am, you can't buy all those bagels. What do you want me to do? Like, so yeah, some people got really angry. Other people were just like, oh, I can order something different. And then there are the handful of people who just thought it was fucking hilarious. Cause like I had one lady that I had to tell that to. I'm like in the middle of the rush. All these paninis are going, all these soups. I'm on register doing my thing, grabbing cookies like it's the end of the world. And she's just like, yeah, can I get 6 cinnamon crunch bagels? And I was like, ma'am, I am so sorry. A lady came in here and bought all of our bagels. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. She came in and she bought 12 bagel packs and got 144 bagels, the overwhelming majority of which were a cinnamon crunch. So she wiped out all of our cinnamon crunch. She wiped out all of our blueberry. She wiped out most of our plain. And then she wiped out our everything bagels. And she was like, did she leave you anything at all? And I was like, I have a pumpkin spice bagel that's hanging on for its dear life. And I have like 3 plain bagels. And I think that's another specialty season one. I honestly don't even know what the fuck it is. I just know I have 5 bagels and I am stressed. And she was just like, oh my God, you poor thing. And I was like, I don't know what the right answer is. So yeah, sometimes you run out of stuff because it makes sense and people are weird. And other times you just have piss poor planning management. At least she was sympathetic. Yeah, she was super sympathetic. She just thought it was so funny. Because she was just like, she was in the same boat of just sitting there going, who does that? And I was like, right? On a Wednesday? Like, what? Why? Why? I can already imagine how that would go. Let me see. I wish it wasn't wrong to say, oh yeah, someone early in the morning went and took all of our bread like an asshole. I mean, that's accurate. We'll give you the feeling if you hit up the Walmart down the street for the bagel. That I'll give you like all the tubs of fucking cream cheese you want if you could just go get us more bagels. Or you have a faster proofing process. At that point, you need to put a sign up or something. Oh no, see, Blackheart, see, that's logic driven. And I have 2 problems with that. 1, that's logical and therefore why it never happened. But then 2, bold of you to think that people would read signs. Very bold move. Thinking that people will read. We don't have bagels. God, that's true. Some places have policies about large orders. Basically, if you didn't call it ahead, you're SOL. Fulmir, that's what they needed to do. Customers at the counter like DW. This doesn't impact me because I can't read. And it's like, well, look, not reading or not, I still don't got no bagels for you. Oh wait, you did read it? We still don't have bagels for you. Sorry. I know that you thought that was going to get you a prize of bagels. Incorrect. Wrong. I still have no bagels. Sometimes it's just too much. Or people will read it and ask if that's for real. Do you think I wanted to make that sign? Is it April 1st? Oh, it's not? Then yeah, that's for real. Oh, necromancy, not that. Not the secret stash that everyone knows about except the crew. Anything but that. The way people would hit me with that at American Eagle, and I would just have to give them the face and be like, there's a bakery in my city that had to remove an item from the menu. You need to order it a day ahead now because it was too popular. They couldn't meet the demand. Oh, nice. That works out really well, though. That's the problem with signs like that. They filter out the people who would have been cool with it anyway. They know, God, bagel smuggling. Before the panini happened, I happened into the English pub downstairs for me, thinking to get a nice holiday dinner, only for the distraught server to tell me that the kitchen was closed because the cook no-showed and her manager wasn't answering his phone. She was there by herself? I saved for a pint of Guinness, tipped her $20, and hugged the stuffing out of her poor I only came over here real fast because I wanted to show everyone this. You remember the whole thing Tuesday about about Gascoigne and killing his wife and how there's a body right here? I'm going to go ahead and loot it. Because that's that kid's mom. Yeah, that's awful, Caldonan. That's actually shit tier. Actually shit tier. Good lord. Historian, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. It's sketchy as fuck if it's anything under the assistant. Where I'm from, staffing an establishment with at least a temporary manager is illegal. When I worked in retail and demanded to go check in the back, I would simply walk in, stand for a second, and walk. Ooh, Ebon. I'm gonna need you to stop calling out the strats, please. You are fucking up livelihoods everywhere with that. I'm deleting this comment. You can't be throwing out people's motherfucking strats like that, because the way I've done that a couple of times. Because don't get me wrong, sometimes, in honesty, sometimes it do be in the back. But oftentimes, there are systems in place that allow us to check and see if it is in fact in the aforementioned back, if it's real, and if we should bother taking our ass back there. So it's usually the point where it's like, hey, I need these pants in a size 29-34. My boy is growing up and he's super lanky and I know it's a hard size and I didn't see any on the shelf. And I look it up on the computer and I might have one or two in the back because we typically wouldn't carry them in the store, and I'd be like, sure, yeah, let me go check for you. That is a whole different conversation than the Karen bitches that will walk up to your counter right away and be like, yeah, there aren't any 29-34s on the shelf there. Can you check in the back and go see if there's some there? I sure will. And then like Ebon said, I will walk right on back there. I'd go to the break table. I'd grab my delicious beverage or snack that I had and be like, I could do one more minute. Hang on a second. Sorry, ma'am, they weren't in the back anywhere. Like, don't come up with attitude like that, because that's why the people in the store fucking hate you. Like, dead ass. That's why they hate you. That is why they hate you. Oh, I don't need this no more. Fuck out of here, kiddo. Now, yeah, we were doing some Bloodborne before my internet drops again, right? Also, Historian, welcome on in. Just as a FYI, Comcast / Xfinity, whichever one you want to refer to it as, they are experiencing some terminal anti-blackness this month. So for Black History Month, they've put us in an outage area where my internet is known to drop like once an hour or so. So if it drops in the middle of me ranting or you having a good time, I do apologize. But Xfinity's just having a case of racism. You know? Just like this dog. Bat puppy. The other dog came down. I was gonna say, I know you came over. That dog. No fucking biscuit. At least I'm getting better with my patience on those. My god. Those dogs were just behaving badly. Whenever I ask someone to do anything beyond absolute basics, I'm super apologetic about it. Fulmir, it's the way that, like, okay, if the boy is still watching, he'll chime in on this a little bit. It's the way that, like, when I order food, if it's something that I just don't like and I forget, I don't have the heart to send it back. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Or, like, if it's something that I know I'm not allergic to and I can eat around, I'll just do that. And I also don't even, listen, I won't even order something if I know I have to take off more than 2 things. Like, if I look at a dish and I'm like, oh, that sounds really good, and I find myself saying, hey, I want this with no item more than twice, I won't order it. I literally won't order it because I feel like it's the world's biggest inconvenience. Meanwhile, if my boyfriend orders something and it's just like, oh, this has a thing that I don't want on it, I'm like immediately waving down the fucking waitress like, excuse me, ma'am, this is wrong. Like, he's just sitting there like, it's not that big a deal. Literally same energy, but I can't confirm. It's like literally the exact same energy of, oh, I don't want to be a pain in the ass. But when it's his food, it's fine for me to be a jackass. But when it's my food, I'm like, type of thing. It's a problem. So for people that just come in and they're like super duper bold about the shit, I'm like, I can't relate. Cannot fucking relate. Nessa, my wife made carnitas for dinner tonight. I love that for you, Sabira. I love that for you immensely. Also, hi. I'm glad you're back home. I have to get to another part where we can stop, and I'm gonna read all these chats because there's a few messages. Uh-oh, that man's behind me. I think my timing might be off here. Survey says it is not off. That's great to know. Excuse me, they said no pickles. Oh god, that's a reference, isn't it? That's a reference, right? It's good to see you again. Hey, if my internet stays up, you might be able to see me longer. But that's if the internet stays up. It's a wild Sabira. Nope, there's nothing to see there. There's no need for you to get very excited about that. I don't need to switch off of those. Sabira, actually, can someone in chat give Sabira an update now that she's enjoying some delicious carnitas about how we've been doing for stream thus far? Yeah, get that stinky stuff. Yeah, buddy. He's like, oh man, that stank. Gonna go over to it. I mean, that makes sense, Sophia. I think the hardest thing for one of my activation pieces for Black History Month is making sure that I'm gendering everyone correctly. And I'm like going through all these different applications and all these different pictures. And I'm like, wait, no, that one's not right. That's wrong. This one's wrong too. No, don't put that one. Don't put that one. All right, we're going to stop on the stairs and I'm going to read some chat. Check behind us. Cool beans. Okay, what do we have here? Let's see some chat that we missed. Again, if you're new here, I do apologize. While I'm practicing for no hit for UBAF, I am reading chat significantly less. I typically read chat pretty constantly, but I just need to focus up on these things too. Because I've accepted that I can do talking, slight reading while traveling, but with bosses, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Let's see. I read that. That's where Paul confirmed. Let's see. I try to do that, but the tism leads to the severe aversion, food aversion for some specific things. I'll be a trooper for stuff if it's like one of the 5 forbidden toppings. If I forget to ask for something to be taken off and then it's on the item I ordered, I simply take it off myself or just eat it if it's not easily taken off. Yeah, exactly. Mango, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. I used to be a regular at Red Robin in Rochester, New York, and some of my orders were pretty custom, but I tipped super well and sat there at the bar chatting with the staff so they all knew me. And I feel like once you get a rapport, that's a completely different conversation too. Like the BJ's down the street from me, I have a rapport with them at this point, and they're just like, yeah, just get her whatever the fuck she wants. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just literally whatever. They said no pickles. I read that. If you need to take multiple ingredients off a food order, is it the same food or did you just want something else? Anna, that's kind of what I start like floating towards. Is I start looking for other things to see if there's something I want that's more close to that. One time I was just brain dead crispy on a Friday. Did not have the brain cell.